Hey, what up guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. So before I started making these kind of videos, again, I've kind of been quietly watching in the background or whatnot on what's been going on with the whole cheating, hacking situation, whether it's Warzone, watching other videos or whatnot, or watching a guy like Why So Serious, for instance, who has been covering this left and right. He's actually the gentleman back in 2019 that actually made a 3.5-hour live stream covering the Modern Warfare 2019 patent, or actually, you know what? It's just the patent in general, of the engagement optimization matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking patent from start to finish. There's nobody that has broken it down like that. So, and he did it live, and it's also on his channel. So, and of course, fast forward some time later, 8 Thoughts kind of shouted him out or whatnot, and then the next thing you know, a lot of people know who Why So Serious is, and to this day. So, and there's basically a lot of stuff that he's continuing to cover. He actually made a recent video to where he and his teammates went to an event, and it was recorded vlog style. And basically it exposed a lot of the BS that was going on. Some members of Optic were featured as well, and Flamesword was also featured. And basically at the end of the day, he's working left and right. He and his teammates are working left and right and exposing all this. Even pro players are exposing a lot of the BS that's going on. So this is kind of me doing my part now that I'm kind of making these videos. So it was only a matter of time before I did a video like this. So basically the problem is the cheating and the hacking situation or whatnot, and the direction we're heading in. And yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today on this one. So because it seems like there's little to no effort being made to minimize such a problem, right? Ever since free-to-play became the forefront of so many of our popular multiplayer games nowadays, I mean, it seems like this has been a problem that has pretty much only been getting worse instead of better, except for Valorant, though. Valorant seems to be the only game that actually has, like, or one of the few games that has, like, a legit and really good anti-cheat system from what I've been told. And it seems like the competitive integrity of that game seems to be pretty much intact or whatnot. So now the cheating, hacking situation, everything that goes on is obviously an issue among games such as Halo, Call of Duty Multiplayer, Warzone, and others. The more popular a game gets, obviously the more affected they are by the cheating issue. So now it's also shown that there are just limitless lengths that people are willing to go for just for a shot of YouTube fame, Twitch fame, or whatever it is. And basically their excuse at the end of the day is, well, such and such did it, so I'm going to do it or whatnot. So a lot of these big name streamers, a lot of these big name players or whatnot, they, whether you like it or not, they actually represent the community, right? They're the example. And unfortunately, yeah, it's not very good example of leadership in my opinion. So part of me is actually happy that this has actually become a big topic because the curtain is being lifted in terms of who the legit players are and who the illegitimate players are. And as time goes on, more and more people are going to be exposed. However, the problem is that a lot of these cheats and hacks are so sophisticated that they're literally undetectable, and in a lot of ways even more undetectable even in some of these tournaments or whatnot. So or maybe not undetectable until like much later or some shit like that. There's been players that have gone to events or whatnot that have actually won money, and then it was revealed later on that they cheated, but there's no repercussions, and if there are, they're very minimal. So that's what I think. I also think that the big problem is, like, even if you get caught, there's no real repercussions or penalties to the player, such as a permanent ban or whatever. Or another issue is that there's just so many ways around it. So, like, if you get banned, if you get account banned, all that has to happen is, guess what? You make a new account, wham, bam, there you go. I personally believe that the 50 million players that Call of Duty or Warzone has lost, for instance, is due to the cheating problem. I think the majority of those people are gone because of the cheating problem or whatnot. So whether you're a good player or not, if you're going against people that are using the most minimal or the most maximal of cheats, it's not going to be a good experience for you. And eventually you're going to end up leaving and quitting. And as sad as it is to say, this has also made its way into competitive gaming as well. And I don't mean competitive Warzone. Competitive Warzone is not a thing. Warzone is not a competitive... Warzone's not competitive. It's simple as that. So, I mean, as it's effective competitive Halo, especially when you get into high diamond tier, for instance, online and ranked, or in Onyx, I'd say the majority of Onyx players are probably are sus, to put it nicely. People are being exposed all the time by pros such as Lucid, for instance, or competitive players like Sirius and his teammates. And I'm sure other players have also done things like this. Problems like this are also taking place on quote-unquote LAN tournaments, which LAN actually does not exist. There has to be an internet connection. And this is both true in COD and in Halo competitive. Rigs or consoles are not linked anymore like they used to be for some reason, and an internet connection is actually required. And of course, accounts such as Steam and where the cheats can kind of fit in because they're required. So they can make their way into some of these events. And of course, a while back, Sirius and his teammates participated in this in a tournament, and everything was recorded vlog style, as I said. And it's been basically the integrity of these tournaments has been compromised, and everything is not an even playing field for even this, especially for the smaller guys that just want to go and compete and see how they fare against other good players out there as well. And if they even make it that far against some of the best pro players out there, or maybe even become a pro themselves someday, right? And basically it's taken away from them because of all the BS that takes place in these tournaments. So and we're talking everything from monitor settings being different for depending on your station or whatnot. They can give the opposing team an advantage or whatnot. And we're also talking things like, for instance, the people that run the things like refs or whatnot that literally don't do anything whenever a problem arises or whatnot. Or, they just don't know what the hell they're doing. So the people that are quote-unquote qualified should not be qualified in the first place, right? They shouldn't be in that position. So, and the thing is, it even gets to a point to where, some, like when you call them out on their BS, they kick you out of tournaments, or they block you out in some way, shape, or form, right? Watch the video in the link in the description below. You'll see exactly what I mean. And a lot of these big name organizations such as Optic or whatnot, and the players know about this. It's nothing new. If I know about it, they certainly know about it, and they probably know even more. But it seems like nothing can be done. Is it because they don't want to put everything in jeopardy in terms of the amount of time and resources and money that they spent to put them to where they are now? Or is it because they want to keep everything for themselves and keep the competitive playing field small, right? And just keep, so that way they have more of a concentration of earnings and stuff like that coming their way. So for instance, everyone's going to listen to Scump when he's wrong, even when he's wrong, right? So is this the kind of control that they want to maintain over viewers and players? Or let's not to mention that these competitive players that are unknowns, they travel to these events and they basically spend a lot of their time, their money, and their effort to get in there. I mean, this shit's not cheap. So if you want to know how bad it is, again, the link in the description below will tell you. And Flamesword is in it as well. He's aware. Former Halo Pro and a former member of Optic or whatnot. So that's another thing. It's like, why isn't he a member of Optic anymore? It seems like everybody that has been with Optic for a while is still with them, but there's a few that haven't. I don't know. Is it because he just wanted to go and do his own thing while being his own organization, or does it run deeper than that? I don't know. I can only assume. I'm just speculating. So whether it's a lack of integrity, competitive integrity, or the online cheating, it seems like everyone's being affected by this, right? But the thing is, can there literally be anything done about it? Because if there's no laws or penalties or legitimate repercussions, it's like, what can be done? It's like, even though the gaming industry is in the billions, it's still not being taken seriously enough. Or is it just purposely being done this way? So that way they can have 100% control of everything. Because at the end of the day, it's all about money and it's all about control, right? So for instance, if it was discovered that you cheated in a Warzone event or whatnot, right, you should be forced to give up your winnings. Because you obviously cheated, aka stole it, and you should also be banned from further competition. If you cheated, if you were competing in the Olympics, and if you cheated, right, your gold medals get taken away from you if you had them previously, or if you won them, right, and you're banned from competition for life. So unfortunately, these things do not exist, and I'm afraid until they do, or something, all the hard work and effort that, for instance, Sirius and as well as others that put into this, I feel that it could be for nothing, or maybe there's something I don't know. Both big and small players and people and organizations won't care until they have a reason to care. So laws are in place for a reason right now, and the cheating in the competitive scene is basically lawless at this point, and there's people that are taking advantage of it for their own pockets while simultaneously destroying an important aspect of gaming. Big organizations like Optic, FaZe, and 100 Thieves, for instance, need to bear in mind that it was the times before all this crap started to happen that allowed them to put their name and reputation on the map in the first place, that got them to where they are today. That is their identity as a whole in the beginning, right? So in my opinion, they have a moral obligation to do something, but it's gone beyond that, right? Morals and obligations have gone out the window. It's changed. Now, if you aren't saying something, then you're part of the problem, obviously, in my opinion. And is this the example we want to set for the next generation of gamers and people? That cheating is okay? Granted, stuff like this happens in real life in other categories, and I could easily go on about that for hours in this video, but that's not what this is about. Do we really want to be a generation of cheaters? I know I'm old, but for me, that's seriously fucked up, and that kind of road only leads to hell. Or is it from the side of the big organizations, like Optic, for instance, is it that saying something or attempting to do something has such a big penalty behind it that these organizations would like to where like they literally just turn the other cheek because they're afraid that they might lose everything? Or they just dance around it because they might lose everything or whatnot? Do they really want to start all over again? Probably not. After so many years of everything that they put into it, probably not. You see what I mean? This is where, again, the word integrity comes into play, and it's just like all about the money, man. It's all about the money and the show. So, well, at the end of the day, guys, that's all I have for this one. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. Can anything be done at all, if at all? Hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.